morning, everyone. Welcome to this very big day for Habitat, but not just Habitat, really for our whole city. This is a development that has been in the works for many, many years. Thanks to the generosity of the Marcus family that initially, brought this opportunity to Habitat and, told Habitat to figure out what the best use for this land would be. And after much effort on the part of Habitat, the city government, MSD, and the partners out here, HPI, and the market rate builders that are out here, this is on the verge of becoming a truly mixed income subdivision in the east end of Louisville, the place where we need affordable housing as bad as we need it anywhere in the city. And I can't really name all the people that have contributed to this. It's just my tremendous honor that I happen to be president of the board when this comes to fruition and we start building houses out here. It is, without a doubt, one of the most amazing things that I've been part of in my life. And I am so glad to be here, that all of y'all are here to share this moment. And so with that, I'd like to introduce to you one of our biggest proponents of affordable housing in Louisville, Mayor Greg Fischer. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Matt, and good morning, everybody. Yeah, boy, affordable housing requires lots and lots of people working together to make this happen, and we're kind of off to a really good start in our city here with the past several years of investment that have taken place, with a lot more to come. And that basically, the thought behind this is that every Louisville citizen deserves affordable housing choices, both where to live, what type of place to live in, and it shouldn't be restricted to just any one part of town. And we see from all over the country and all over the world, when you have mixed income housing together, you see more vibrant neighborhoods, you see more economically vibrant cities as well. So I think it's not only critical to us from an economic standpoint, it's critical to us from a cultural standpoint and from a compassion standpoint for our city as well to have this type of choice. And that's why you've seen, along with the Metro Council, got two members here you'll be hearing from today with Scott and Glenn. In my administration, we've put over $40 million in affordable housing in the last three budgets, and we'll continue to do that, I feel confident to say, as we look forward here. Because the bottom line is, imagine if you're trying to hold down a job and you don't have a place to sleep at night. Or imagine if you have a child that you have a dream for, and they're trying just to keep up in school, and they don't have a place to sleep at night. They don't have an internet connection. These are basic equity issues that are important for any city that cares about all of our citizens to have a chance to succeed, to make sure that housing is something that everybody has. So we have a wonderful, wonderful partnership here in our community to make sure that we continue doing that. That being said, I think we also want to jump up and say, the affordable housing and funding affordable housing from the federal government over the past decades, and this is not a Republican or a Democratic issue, has really dwindled to what it once was in our country. And so the big money flows from the federal government. So when you see your U.S. representatives, your U.S. senators, when you're plugging them for different things, ask them to remember housing. We call ourselves the wealthiest country on the face of the earth, and we are from a total GDP standpoint. But when we have the amount of homeless people we have, when we have the amount of distressed people we have for housing, food insecurity, healthcare insecurity, those are not indications of the wealthiest country on the face of the earth, okay? There are plenty of countries that have figured this out. We can figure it out as well. So that's kind of the big picture. But today, we're taking care of what we need to take care of here at the city level, and we're going to continue to do that. I talked about partners because it takes a variety of things from a capital deck to come together to make this happen. Metro's contribution was with our CDBG money, Community Development Block Grant money from the federal government. $2 million went into putting the infrastructure in place in here, the sewers, the roads, etc., so then the development could come in after that. Habitat, HPI have been critical partners, obviously, to make this happen as well. Various other funding mechanisms are going to be required for people to get in, especially to the affordable units in this neighborhood, which will net out to about $120,000 as well. And then none of this would have happened without the Marcus family. So they're sitting here right in the front row, and they were generous enough in 2006 to donate this land to Habitat for Humanity. So let's hear it for these community heroes here. Great job to you guys. Great job. Yeah. Yes. Well, when you talk about a legacy and you talk about looking back on your life and saying, did I make a difference? Exclamation points for you guys. Okay, so well done. Thank you very much. Great job. Of course, and then you got to have people to give it to that can do something with it. And our Habitat team here is so incredible. Rob, you and your team, Matt, but your board of directors, your volunteers that just all keep showing up. And the amazing thing about Habitat is it's not just like your core group. You got hundreds of other people that are showing up every month to help and get that Habitat bug as well. So really want to say thank you to Habitat, HPI, to you and your team. I don't know if Becky, I saw her earlier here. Thank you guys for everything that you're doing, all the funders that are coming together to make this happen. Republic Bank is stepping up time and time again for us on projects like this. So I want to thank Republic, the Renault Foundation, Louisville Metro Housing and Community Development, Gabe Fritz and his team. Thank you very much. Christy McCravey and the Louisville Affordable Housing Trust Fund, who's managing the money that's coming into our trust fund. Everybody is coming together to make something like this happen. So they're big projects, but at the end of the day, I just want us all to think about that family and that mom, that dad, those kids that come and they see a house and say, we got our own house. It's amazing. And we're living in a place where you can have a $120,000 house, a $250,000 house built by a developer out in Norton Commons. But when you lay down at nighttime, especially if you've never owned a house before, and that smile that you put on your face and just say, I can't believe it. I got my own place. And those are the kind of dreams that come true through projects like this. So we should feel good about that as our city, and we'll do more and more of it. God bless you all.
Thank you, Mayor Fischer. With that, I'd now like to introduce Councilman Scott Reid. He has a few remarks for us.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, distinguished guests. Mayor Fischer, thank you very much. Marcus family, thank you for making this happen. Rob, you did a fantastic job, and you've kept us all in the loop throughout this entire project. I just have a couple things to say. I think this is a wonderful thing for District 16 and District 17. We need to do more for affordable housing in the city, no question about it. And I think one of the things that I'm particularly passionate about, in addition to projects like this, are the over 5,000 vacant and abandoned properties in the city. How do we reduce the barriers so that those homes, particularly in the Portland area and in the west part of Louisville, can be refurbished so that we can create more affordable housing opportunities for people. So with that said, I have nothing more to say. This is a fantastic thing for everybody involved. We got to have a great day, great weather, and thank you very much for coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Reid. And Councilman Stuckel, would you like to say a few words too?
Golly, this was a long time coming. I had dark hair when they started. Well, some of you may know I'm a building contractor. So about a week and a half ago, I came out here. There were some workers here, but they didn't have all of these people here. And I walked the houses, looked at the product. I'm also a veteran of 21 Habitat houses. And I think, Rob, they're all still standing. Yeah, okay. What a wonderful organization, and thank you so much for your gift. I mean, that made it possible. And the people that are going to live here are really going to enjoy this, because we've worked with Far Springs North. They had some issues. We got together with the people, and they all worked well together. It's going to be a great community, and I'm very proud that I had a little bit to do with it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. So with that, I'd like to introduce Rob Locke, the CEO of Habitat, for a few remarks.
Thanks, Matt. Friends, the sun is shining on Park Springs. How blessed we are. It has indeed been a long time coming, Glenn, right? I remember 2006 riding in Brian Bohr's SUV, taking a look at the land merit, and you saying, hey, can you use it? If you can't, I'm going to see what the Boy Scouts can do. Remember that? Yeah. I think we figured it out. Took us a while. I was talking with the mayor a little bit this morning. The street one block over is called Possibility Way. And we called it that because at the core, what we really want to do is to give people a chance, to remind people that there's a possibility to do more than where you are right now. And this morning, as I came in, there's a couple, the first Habitat home that we built up on the hill. They've been waiting for 2 years. They saw this property when it was nothing but woods. And this morning, Mom was standing out in front of the Park Springs sign with her 2 kids waiting to get on the school bus. Saw that? Yeah. So I think that there is no way to measure the transformation that occurs when mom and dad get to help their kids have a stable home. We talk about the importance of home, but it's really a tool for personal transformation. And when you think about the reality of all of the jobs, all the retail, all of the amenities that are near this community, and the fact that when we started, it was essentially abandoned property. It was really challenging because all we had were 20-foot wide lots. And with the challenge of no sewers, what could we do? And I'll tell you, there were many times when it felt like this was an impossible task. But I'm here today to tell you all, when somebody says it's impossible, tell them about Park Springs. Right? Amen. I could spend a lot of time thanking people, but there's a few folks that I just have to call out. Pat Dominic over here, back when we had no idea how we were going to build sewers, Pat figured it out, and he stayed with us throughout the entire project. You're awesome. John Dwyer, who's been on and off the board 3 or 4 times, never quit. Never quit. John, you're awesome. Mike Hines back here, back when we didn't know how this thing was going to go off. I don't know how many times Mike has said to me, you know, if it wasn't for our personal relationship, I don't know if I could keep working on this project. But Mike, you didn't quit. Yeah, it's possible, man. It's possible. And if I could, I'd like to, everybody that's a board member of the Park Springs LLC to raise your hand. There's just a few of them here. And then, thank you, Park Springs LLC. And then everybody that's a Habitat board member to raise their hand. So all these board members have been very involved, and without them, this wouldn't have been possible either. All right. And then finally, Mr. Chuck Scrow over here, who as a volunteer has led, so far, every Habitat house we've built out here. So Chuck and his son. Thank you all for indulging me. And don't forget about the possibility, friends. Amen. It's my pleasure to introduce my friend Andy Haas, who's leading the Housing Partnership Incorporated. Andy, come up and share a few words with us, will you?
Good morning. Good morning. On behalf of Clay Stinnett, the Chief Strategic Officer with Stockyards Bank and HPI's current board chair, and all of HPI's board members and staff, I want to say thank you to all of you for coming today. It's great to see so many of you taking an interest in the Park Springs development. Young families, retirees, and critical workers such as teachers, first responders, construction workers, and professions in mid-skilled jobs will benefit from the housing created in Park Springs. At the heart of workforce housing is the idea that employees should be able to afford to live in the communities in which they work. And there are multiple benefits in being able to do so. As you know, Louisvillians are facing some tough challenges today. As we look across our city, we see that many workers simply cannot afford to live in the communities where they work. They are no longer our neighbors, and for that, we all suffer. The mayor, HPI, and Habitat for Humanity Louisville feel that it's critically important that the working citizens in our community have access to reasonably priced housing, and for which the Park Springs neighborhood will provide those opportunities. New homes in Park Springs will range from the mid 150,000s to up the mid 200,000s. Each house will conform to our pattern book to ensure quality and synergy among the various housing styles. I'd like to say a few special thanks as well to Rob Locke. Thank you for having HPI partner with you in making this subdivision happen. To Park Springs Construction for their participation in the development with producing some high quality market rate housing. Mayor Fischer, for your steadfast support of affordable housing and the need to create inclusive communities. To Mary Ellen Wiederwald, Jeff O'Brien, Gabe Fritz, and Adam Lyons with Louisville Metro for all your involvement and support of the Park Springs development. To the Fez Group, our contractor who's constructed our first two homes, Fred and Zach Worsham, thank you. Mike Hines, our former president, thank you for your leadership in the early stages of the Park Springs development. I'm proud to inherit this development. You did a great job. To Republic Bank, thank you for your continued support in providing financing for the initial development phase and also with our construction loans in getting the houses built. Pat Dominic, I want to echo Rob's comments. Thank you. Your leadership is awesome. You stay with us, and the support you provide to the nonprofit community is very welcomed, and it's needed. And special thanks to Homer Sarabi with the Sarabi Group with his assistance in providing HPI some guidance on navigating our construction activities. For additional information about Park Springs, feel free to go to experienceparksprings.com. You'll see a nice layout of the community, and you'll see various house plans that are available for sale. Thank you.
Thanks, Andy. I'd like to introduce John Rippey from Habitat from my perspective, but probably from Republic Bank from his. So,
Rob can do a lot of things, but he doesn't sign my paycheck. So I just want to quickly thank, I've been fortunate to be involved since early on with the Marcus family, and that's been a treasure. I want to introduce who they are. Merritt and Judy Marcus are here. Linda and Steve Marcus are the children of Calvin Marcus, Merritt's brother. And it was that through that connection with Calvin and his wife, Martha, who were volunteers with Habitat. We always say at Habitat, God provides, and we figure a way out, and we always, at the end of the day, we chalk it up to God. And I think that's what happened here. Martha and Calvin were involved, and they talked to Merritt and Judy, and they came to us, and we were looking for a way to expand, and they gave it to us now 12 years ago. So, it took a long time because, as I just was telling them, we didn't do anything with extravagance. We did it with, who's going to give it to us for free and who's going to give it to us at a low interest cost, or who's going to give it to us for when they get time to do it, John Dwyer. And so, it's been, just everybody coming together, and it's been a great pleasure for me. So thank you all, particularly the Marcus family. I really thank you, and it's been touching to work with them and know them these years. So thank you. Secondly, Republic Bank, my other hat, as Rob says, where I get paid. We've been thrilled to be involved, and I think there are a few of our team members around. If everybody raise their hand a little bit, back in the back. They're here, and Those of us who are here push the ones who make the loans to make the loans to the right people. So we're happy to been part of this and to provide the housing assistance. Both with we not only have made loans to the groups here and to Habitat and the partnership, we've also joined with a bunch of other banks to build one of the first houses, which was a banker's house. One of the, I don't know, we built 20 or 25 of those over the years with Habitat. So that's been thrilling as well to be one of the first ones out here with the bankers group. So all in all, I'm fortunate, Habitat's fortunate, and thank you all for coming out.
Thank you, John. Not long after we acquired the property, and Wanderer Paskey helped us find a free phase one who said, yes, you can build there. There's no bomb shelter. We had another one of those God moments with the Renault Foundation. So Sherry Suki, are you here? John Sheriak, come on up and give us a couple of thoughts. So I think John's wife was out on a build a year or so before, and I'll let him talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob, and everybody else here. The Renault Foundation, Ken Renault passed away in 2008. Not a name any of you have ever heard, but he passed away, no children, no siblings, wife predeceased. So he had a little nest egg, and I was part of the foundation of trying to figure out what to do with that money. So we wanted to make an impact. We met with Rob, and I'll never forget, we asked Rob, what is your dream? What we want to make a really big impact. And Rob's eyes lit up. He pulled out the plans for Park Springs, and it was that God moment that he referred to. So we're proud to be a part of this project. The Renault Foundation, this is a perfect example of what he wanted to do with what he had worked for all his life. And thank you very much.
What John didn't tell you is that the foundation was in my office, and they kicked me out. They said, "Could you give us a few moments?" But those were the best few moments that I ever gave. So thank you so much for your support. The Louisville Affordable Housing Trust Fund has some investments out here, and that trust fund is awesome. Christy McCravey, you want to come up here and give us a couple words? No? You going to pass the mic? What do you say? Let's all recognize Christy over here. Okay. Isn't it nice to have a tent on this sunny day? And doesn't the subdivision look great? Susan Overton, Allie Rocky, who else was out here? Trish Toby, Hebert was out here. Lisa Hebert was out here. Y'all raise your hands and get some love. They were out here sweaty. They were running weed eaters. It was a long day yesterday, wasn't it, Allie? Thank you. Leslie Woods, Director of Construction, has been chairing our design committee. So when you take a look at these homes and you look at the detail, Leslie's eye is in all of that. And so thinking about how we can provide that level of mid-100s to mid-200s with the consistency of detail, without Leslie's leadership, I don't know that we would have ever gotten there. So thank you, Leslie. We have refreshments today. We have Chick-fil-A and cake. So what more do you want, right? Friends, Park Springs is open for business. We have houses of every one of the 3 different builders is open for you to tour today. We have lots that are for sale for builders if you're interested in building a home out here. We have a plan book with some consistency of plans, and we have a vision of an impact on the community that I think can't be beat. It's possible here. Thank you all so much for being here today. I appreciate it. Go tour a house, have some cake and chicken.